All right, back here at home, the Dali cargo ship in Baltimore is back on the move.
That ship has blocked the channel for 8 weeks. Fox 5's Melanie Alwick, she is live in Baltimore with the latest. Melanie.
Hey, good morning, guys. For the first time in 55 days, there is no Dali cargo ship sitting in the middle of the Bethesda River where the Key Bridge used to be. Behind us are the remnants of those ramps that used to then carry people across the bridge. And that was where the cargo ship Dali came to rest on March 26th after crashing into those piers. So this is just one more step in getting the port fully operational by the end of the month. Take a look at some Sky Fox video from earlier this morning. As that ship began to get underway, you see those tugboats there as well, responsible for the ship's safe passage back to the marine terminal. Early this morning, Governor Wes Moore's office released a photo of him meeting with Unified Command to view the refloat operation. They began about 2 this morning with what they needed to do to unload some of the water, the ballast that was keeping that ship low, and then having to kind of balance out for the cargo, that some of the cargo containers that were taken off the front of that. The rest of the process also began Saturday, removal of the anchors. And then, as we mentioned, the Dali will be free from its current position. The tugboats are going to escort the ship about 2.5 miles away. It's moving at a speed of 1 mile per hour. Nearby residents told us they are still dealing with memories of the day of the collision and the lingering effects.
My house shook when it fell. But these jets went by. I thought we were being bombed. I really did, because of the Coast Guard being there and the port.
Well, I'm glad it's finally going to be moved. You know, it's been a little rough not having that bridge there. We got to go around through the tunnels and to get south. And I'll be glad when it's, finished.
And it has been an exhausting 2 months for the disaster response team, not just moving tons of steel off of the cargo ship Dali, but also dealing with the sensitive recovery of those who died in the collapse of the Key Bridge and clearing all of the dangerous debris to ensure safe channels. Now, Governor Wes Moore does plan to hold a media briefing here at 2:30 this afternoon, presumably to announce a successful operation today. We do know that it may take years to get the bridge rebuilt.
A lot of people, Mel, were surprised about the crew knowing that they had to stay on board the ship the entire time. So the question is, what happens with them now?
Well, from what we understand, they're not going to be able to disembark. One of the unions that represents the crew members said that their visas expired about a month ago, and they are working to try to get them either renewed or get them new visas. They also say that they are working to ensure that the well-being of these crew members, having to deal with now this extended mission. They should have arrived in Sri Lanka on April 22nd. We know that relief organizations have paid occasional visits to the crew members and brought relief supplies to them. But how long they'll have to now stay in port is still an open question.
All right, so that waiting game continues, Mel, but good to know that at least there's some movement, literally and figuratively, with the ship itself. Thank you, Mel. Mel's in Baltimore once again this morning.